Hello, welcome to our second housing talks. This is part of a series of talks that we'll be delivering to you digitally throughout the term to take you through your housing journey step by step. The Advice Centre will be hosting these talks every fortnight, and the aim of this is to provide you with valuable housing information that you can use to make informed choices for next year. So today's talk will centre on contracts, deposits, and the right to rent checks. Hopefully this will be very useful and informative, and you'll be able to know your rights a lot better. So we'll get straight into it. So it's important to know who you're talking to. So I am Dee. I am a welfare advisor at the Advice Centre. We have Bianca Voles, a welfare advisor, Charlotte Cowdell, a welfare advisor, and Minaz Ali, our Advice Centre manager. We call ourselves the A-Team. So, contracts, what are they? Deposits, what you need to know, and what the right to rent checks entail. So we're starting off with contracts. So by now, most of you will know that before accepting a tenancy, you will need to sign a contract. So there are some important things that you'll need to know before you commit to a tenancy. So what is a contract? So there are different types of tenancy agreements that are out there, but as a student, you'll be signing what's known as an assured short-hold tenancy. So an assured short-hold tenancy is the most common type, and that will be given to you if you rent from a private landlord or letting agent. When you sign the contract, it forms a legally binding agreement. Now, this is really important because you won't just be able to get out of the contract if you're not happy or change your mind. You need to be very sure before you sign that tenancy agreement. So this also includes the housemates that you live with. Make sure that these are people that you are willing to live with for the duration of the tenancy period, because if anything happens, it will be very difficult to leave unless you find a replacement tenant. Ensure that you're happy with them, ensure that you know them well enough before you commit to a tenancy. So make sure that you read your contract agreement thoroughly, check all the details are correct before you sign it. So after signing your agreement, you should receive a government's how to rent guide, an energy performance certificate, and a deposit protection certificate. Now, the deposit protection certificate should be given to you within 30 days after you pay your deposit, as well as a gas safety certificate. Make sure that you check the property before you move in. This is highly recommended to ensure that you're comfortable and you know what you're getting into before you sign this. Now, if you have any questions or concerns at all, please do not sign the contract until you have further advice or information. Please don't be pressured into signing until you understand this. And the Advice Centre is always available to go over any contract queries with you, including a contract check. You can, as soon as you get your contract, you can send that over to us and we can look through that and get back to you. So what is a deposit? We've spoken about that briefly in the last slide and we'll go further in depth here. So a deposit is a returnable payment that's taken by the agent or landlord, and that's normally used to be held against arrears towards the end of at the end of your tenancy, any damage to the property or contents, or any cleaning and maintenance that you should have carried out that you didn't. So we spoke about deposit protection. So as I said, your landlord or agent must protect this within 30 days, and they must protect this within an authorized scheme. So there are 3 deposit protection schemes, and these are the Deposit Protection Service, My Deposits, and the Tenancy Deposit Scheme. These are the 3 that they must use. And as I said, this must be done within 30 days. When that's done, you should receive your deposit protection certificate, and that should show all the details of your deposit protection. So if your landlord doesn't protect your deposit, this is a legal responsibility that they're supposed to do. And if they don't, you can actually claim up to 3 times the amount of your deposit if you take this to court. Additionally, protecting your deposit means that if a dispute arises at the end of your tenancy, the scheme will offer a free dispute resolution service if there are any disagreements, and they should be able to solve this objectively for you. So moving on to the right to rent checks. So right to rent checks happen when any adult that's renting a residential accommodation is subject to living here lawfully. So that means that any adult or anyone over the age of 18 needs to comply with these checks. Essentially, they're just to make sure that you are lawfully able to rent and you have the right to rent. So you'll need to show that you have the right to residential accommodation, to rent residential accommodation. So the documentation you'll need to show include your passports or any document that's showing permanent or time limited residence in the UK. So this is sort of like your BRP, which is your British residency permit. You should absolutely not be charged for a right to rent check, and if you are charged, please contact us at the advice centre to find out what to do next. It is important to note that it is actually illegal for your landlord or agent to discriminate against you based on your nationality. You cannot be evicted because your rent right has expired. So, for example, if your right to rent, so for example, your tenancy or your passport term expired whilst you were living in the residence, your landlord can't just evict you. They still need to follow the normal court processes and obtain relevant court documents to evict you. If you do have any concerns at all over the integrity of an agent or landlord, please do not rent a property through them and do not give them any identity documents. Please contact us at the Advice Centre for further information. And here we have our contact details at the Advice Centre. The most easiest way and the most convenient way to contact us is through the inquiry form, which is worksu.com/help-support/contact. Now, the easiest way to do this is to go on the WorkSU website, go to advice, and you should see the inquiry form there. And then below we have the emails of each individual welfare advisor and our Advice Centre manager should you have any queries at all. So we've now finished this presentation. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Please be aware that as we do these every 2 weeks, our next one will be a fortnight from now, which will be the 10th of November, and that will cover moving in, problem solving, and community. That again will be at 2 p.m. So we hope that you can make it. There's a Teams meeting link for that, and that can be found at www.warwicksu.com, again /help-support/housing. If you're unable to make it, there will be a transcript that will be, or a recording that will be live on the website that you can view at your leisure. Thank you so much for joining me today.